Hi guys, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Tina and this is Hanging with Frugal Tina. So today we're going to make another very inexpensive meal. My house is dwindling down over the summer. There's only the 4 of us here and I'm usually cooking for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 people at any given time. But we only have the 4 of us today, which makes it much easier on my pockets. So we're going to make a recipe of Korean style pork chops. I've never made these before. I found the recipe. I'll link it in the box below, or I'll leave the recipe with their name because I don't remember what it is right now. But it comes in really inexpensively because we're only 4 people. For me anyway, you know, I spent $4 on the pork chops and then you got a couple of sides. I spent under $6 for this entire meal. One of the items I'm going to talk about over there is, I don't really know how much they were. It was a can of something that somebody gave me, so I just charged myself for a can of whatever, green beans, corn, whatever. I don't usually use this item in the form of a can. It's just one of those things I'm picky about. You'll see when we get over there. So, without further ado, let's get it, let's go. Let's hit those pots. Come on. This entire meal, I'm saying, cost me $5.81, and I'll tell you why I'm saying that. When we get there, I'll explain it. So you're going to need some pork chops. I got some thick cut ones, as thick as I can find anyway. These pork chops, bloop, 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 $4.05. Here's the saying part, the collard greens. I didn't buy those. I don't know what they cost. But I'm going to just charge myself for a regular can of something, green beans or whatever, because if that wasn't gifted to me, I wouldn't be using it. So you're going to need some honey, ginger, garlic, sesame oil, sriracha, or I can't say what the word is. It's Korean chili paste, but I'll put the word in what it's supposed to be. Some olive oil, soy sauce. The Norch rice in the back is what we're going to use. I don't know if we're going to use the chicken flavored or if we're going to use the taco flavor. It's still up in the air. Those were a phenomenal deal. I'm charging myself what they had at the rollback, which was $1, but I got them for 29 cents, y'all. I'll put up a picture if I still have it. You ordered it online. They were clearancing out a bunch of things. So let's get started. We're going to make the marinade first because it's got to marinate for at least 20 minutes. Okay, before we begin, when I'm marinating something that I can poke a hole in, I poke a hole. The reason I do this is just so it can get all the way through while it's sitting in the juices. I don't go crazy, but I do stab it up a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to mix the marinade in a Ziploc baggie so I don't have a whole bunch of dishes to do. Okay, done. So, in this bag, we're just going to start adding some ingredients. I don't know a whole lot about honey, but I like the fact that the ingredients just say honey. So, and it's a brand new jar. So, we're going to need about, why do I always get stuff like that? That's so funny. We're going to need 3, I think, tablespoons of honey. So I sprayed my spoon down a little bit so it'll slide out easy. 1. Oops, 2. Oh, and 3. That was 3 in a pinch. And this is supposed to be for 6 pork chops, guys. I only have 4 because it's only the 4 of us eating, and we really don't eat more than that. 1/3 cup soy sauce. The recipe calls for 6 cloves of garlic. Well, I don't have 6 cloves, but I do have some already minced. So a tablespoon is equal to 3 cloves. So let me scoop out 2 tablespoons here. We'll start with 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. So we're going to add a tablespoon of minced ginger. I'm putting a big one in because I am estimating. I think it's 1/4 of a teaspoon of minced for every... it's a teaspoon for every 1/4 of a teaspoon fresh. And it calls for 1.5 teaspoons. So I'm going a little light on it because I'm not a fan of ginger. 1.5 teaspoon sesame oil. That's 1. And 1/2. Boom. Okay. It calls for 1 teaspoon of that Korean chili sauce. A quick way to do it. Now, this isn't the actual recipe. I do have it, but I have all the ingredients. So, down and dirty is sriracha and ketchup. 1 teaspoon of ketchup. Is it an exact match? Nope, but it'll do for today. All right, so we're going to give that a good old mix. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our pork chops and drop them right down inside. And then we're going to let them marinate for about 20 minutes. I don't know if I say that word right. I always feel like I'm saying it wrong. Like I'm saying like marinade, marinate. I don't know how we say it. That's one of those words I struggle with. Okay. Anyway, let's put the pork chops in here best we can. I'm going to drop 2 down in there, then I'm going to take it out. Oh, you might be able to get all 4 in there. Hold on. Well, I'll get them in there. All right, let me readjust. Woo, almost smashed it out of the bowl. All right, so we're just going to take those out. Get some of the air out of there so we can mush it around. Make sure it is sealed, because I'm good for not sealing it. And we're just going to throw that in the refrigerator for at least 20 minutes. So all the flavors get in there. All right, so move you down. Booyah. We will be back in, well, I will be back in 20 minutes. This is what I'm going to use to zhuzh up the collard greens. I'm a snob when it comes to collard greens. I don't particularly like them very much, but when I do eat them, I like them made fresh with like ham hocks and all that in there. But I was given 2 cans of collard greens. I'm only going to cook 1 today just to show you like a base kind of a thing. I don't have any, well, I do have onions, but I want to add too much to this that it makes the price go up. So I always have bacon bits in my refrigerator. I have some brown sugar, some butter, in our case, country crock vegetable spread. The can of greens, I have some onion flakes or dehydrated onions, some garlic powder, some onion powder, and a couple of these little, I mean, when I tell you these things are like on their last leg, they're on their last leg. So I'm going to use those just to use them up. While our pork chops are marinating, I'm going to get these onto the stove, and by the time we're done with that, we'll be ready to cook the pork chops. So real quick, I'm just going to dice up those. You don't really need to see me do that. All right, so it's just a little bit of the country crock. I'm going to add a little bit of oil into, That was a little more than I wanted to put in there. Just gonna dap some of it out. I didn't want that much in there. I really just wanted a little bit because I'm gonna add some what we call butter in there. All right, so we're gonna get that warm. And this is how I'm gonna flavor up this canned. I did rinse my collard greens. You don't have to if you don't want to. I just think the longer you have them out of the can, the less like the can they taste, and they're not as salty. I'm gonna add the little bit of diced pepper I had. That's just to give it like a pop of color and some taste. Okay, gonna let that cook for a minute. I'm gonna rehydrate some onions while we're letting that cook. Just gonna add it to a little bit of water. Okay, so they're starting to soften a little bit. I don't want them super soft, I just wanted them softened. I added a little bit of water to the onion and just mixing it around in there. I'm gonna add some of that to the pan. I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic, just a little bit, because I'm gonna add some powdered garlic too. It's a lot of zhuzhing for one can of greens. Okay? Okay. There we go. I'm gonna add some of this butter, not all of this butter. So it's about 2 teaspoons, maybe. And to this, we're gonna add some of the bacon, because that's gonna give it its smoky flavor. I got one more trick up my sleeve though, to really bring this flavor profile home. Ooh, it smells good in here. Okay. Let me get that other secret ingredient. Here's my other secret ingredient. Liquid smoke, y'all. Gotta try it. Just a dash or two. Just gotta try it. I added this stuff on the grill. Eric loves this stuff. I have to go heavy when he's involved. But a couple of squirts will do. 4, 5, 6. Okay. I could eat just that. I know Eric would. Aiden too. He likes his veggies as well. But Eric loves vegetables. You can tell my kids were raised on vegetables and not snacks, because they do eat them, but they prefer food. Okay. So to this, I'm going to add my greens. This is just 1 can of greens. You can use things like chicken broth and things like that to level it up. Oh, knocking things over here today. Let me just spin this around. I'm going to add some more of that butter in here because it gives it like a, I don't know, just a little something. Makes it smoother, I guess. So this is going to be seasoned with your heart, guys. Garlic powder and onion powder. I'm not adding any salt until after I taste them, because I feel like these canned things have enough salt in them, even though I rinsed it. That is onion powder. I add just a little bit of liquid just to get these things going. Let me add just a tiniest bit of broth. So I just mixed some of the chicken bouillon with a little bit of water, just a pinch. Stirring it real quick. I'm just going to add just a little bit so everything doesn't boil down while we're letting it simmer. Okay, I have a little bit of brown sugar, but I'm going to add that at the deep deep end. And you also could add some hot sauce. I'm not going to add hot sauce to this because we got a lot of that going on in the pork chops. So I don't want to overdo the spice for me. The kids can handle it. I cannot. All right, so we're just going to let that simmer for a little while. I'm going to add a little bit more because I need a little bit more in the bottom. I don't want it to burn. And we're just going to let that simmer. I just snitched a little taste out of there. Those are coming along just great. I'm just going to move them to the back and let them do their thing for while I'm cooking the pork chops, just to keep them on a very, very, very low, because they're already cooked. But I'm not going to add any salt because there is plenty of salt in those greens. Okay, I decided to put just a pinch in there, not too much, just a pinch, just to let it do its thing. Takes the bitter out of it, I guess. All right, on to the pork chops. All right, so we're gonna get those into the frying pan. Remember, before I get over there, in case I forget to say this, I'm going to add this pork chop to the frying pan without the marinade. We want a good hot pan. Use a pan that you could transfer into the oven, or you could cook it on the stovetop, but I'm going to finish it in the oven. I'll use this paper towel just to rub it around a little bit, only because that's what I have handy. Just a little bit more, I think. Okay, just a drop more. So we're going to get it out of the baggie without bringing all of the juice with us. We are going to use it, just not yet. I'm not wiping it off, I'm just dragging it over. Just shaking it off. Okay, we're going to let that cook for like 2 minutes until it gets a nice sear on the other side. Okay, so this side should be ready to flip over, nice and brown. Same as that one. These ones need just another minute. Okay, there we go. I'm going to turn that down just a little bit. Look at that nice glaze we got on those pork chops. We're going to let that cook for 1 minute, and then we're going to add the rest of our marinade to it. Yep. This is why you want thick pork chops. See? That's what it looks like on the other side. Okay, so I'm just shaking up the baggie. Turn it all the way to low, and we're going to add the marinade. Okay, just gonna let that cook for like 2 minutes. That's it. All right, so I'm just gonna baste these. I have a 400-degree oven. We're going into 5 to 10 minutes until it gets to an internal temperature of 145. I'm just gonna make this per the package instructions. All right, and there are our 2 sides. I am sorry, I completely forgot. I came back, I added a little bit more brown sugar to the collard greens, and we're eating. All right, let me get this over there to you. Woo! Oh, look at those. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Let me plate that up, and I'm gonna meet you at the plate. Not at the, I was about to say, I'm gonna meet you at the table. I'm gonna meet you at the plate. And there's my plate. I'm gonna meet you at the table.
If you get any benefit at all from my content, you can help me out by clicking like, share, commenting, and definitely hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video.
Dinner time! Goodness, goodness, goodness. I say it all the time, but I really can't wait. I have no idea what this is going to taste like. The greens, yes. The pork chop, no. Ready? All right, I'm gonna dip mine, just sop up a little bit of that juice on the plate. Ready? Let's go for it. Mmm. That's really, it's not spicy.
That's amazing.
That is just falling apart in my mouth tender.
That's amazing.
Oh, it's got a little bit of something in the background. For me, anyway. I went a little light on the hot stuff because I got scared. You want to try those greens? I zhuzhed them up. They're canned. Let's see what's going on with these. They sat for a little while, so they should be better than they were. Ready? Go.
They're good.
You know what I added to this?
What?
Your favorite. Liquid smoke. He loves that stuff. I can't just do splash, splash. I have to go dash, dash on his. All right, well, let me get Tyler and Aiden fed and see what they think about it. Bye-bye. Dinner's over. How'd we do? Boom! They ate it all. There is one thing out here I wanted to show you because I forgot and added the brown sugar when you weren't there. I added a little bit one in the beginning, but it was probably about 2 teaspoons in there, and maybe I used a teaspoon of brown sugar. Not a whole lot. Maybe a teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon and a half, but not a lot. So let's see what they thought about it. I'm going to start with Eric because he's standing closest to me. Eric, what'd you think about dinner, and what did you like best? And I have to tell you, I'm just reminding you from the beginning of the video, I don't make canned collard greens. I just don't. So they don't really ever get that. So, Eric, what'd you think about dinner? And what did you like the best?
I thought dinner was good, and I liked everything, but personally, I think the greens were the best.
Okay, there you go. He liked the greens the best. Aiden, same question.
Dinner was amazing, and I loved the pork chops.
Okay. Tyler?
Dinner was absolutely good, and the pork chops were very good.
There you go. I really liked it too. I liked all of it. And like I said, I am a snob when it comes to greens. I really like those pork chops, and I really like the greens. So it's a toss-up for me. It could go either way. I actually took some of the sauce that was in here, and I stuck it on the collard greens. That was really good. You might want to try it. So there you have it. I hope you try it. I hope you like it. Leave me a comment either way. See you later. Bye.